Hey, what is going on? My name is Tim Williams, and yes, it has been a long time, but yeah, I'm out here still playing the MLB DraftKings slates here. It is Thursday, May 26th. Welcome if you are new to the channel. My name is Tim, and what I do here is kind of go through some of these slates on DraftKings and kind of just break it down game by game. We'll talk hitting, pitching matchups, one-offs, all of that good stuff, a little bit of game theory here and there. And man, it feels good to kind of get back to it and do some of these slides again. I have been playing all season, so I'm not too rusty. But yeah, if that all sounds good to you, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And who knows, maybe I will continue to do more of these. I'm going to at least try to get back to doing at least a couple a week. It's just, I put a lot of work into these slides and I am working nonstop. So yeah, let's just dive right into it. We got 9 games to talk about here at Rockies at the Nationals, 8.5 over under. You have Marquez taking on Patrick Corbin. Very cheap pitching here, decently high over under total. So keep that in mind. Marquez, 19.6% strikeout rate here, 51% ground ball rate. However, Washington is only striking out pretty low in MLB, 26 overall. Against Corbin, 5.9K. That is very cheap. Rockies away from Coors here, 52.4% hard hit rate. So not great. 18.8% strikeout rate here. So both pitchers, minimal upside here. They've seen success in the past. 9.6% walk rate for Corbin, struggles against right-handed bats. So yeah, let's talk about some of these bats here. In play to me for the Rockies, I like all the right-handed bats here. They're just kind of priced up, like if they were playing in Coors. Crone at 6.1K is my favorite bat, but he's priced up there with the Mike Trouts of the world. So 3.75 ISO versus left-handed pitching. The Rockies in general, like I said, they are kind of just pricey, but as a team versus left-handed pitching this year, they are first in average, first in on-base percentage, third in slugging, second in OPS. So really having a lot of success against lefties this year. I haven't totally dived deep if the success is translating well away from Coors, but regardless, they are hitting lefties as a team. So in play, if I can afford them. On the other side with the Nationals, the only guy I really like here is Soto at 4.7K. He is just far too cheap. 2.89 ISO here, 417 WOBA, 20 excuse me, 20.5 walk rate versus right-handed pitching. So he's seeing the ball very well. Rockies bullpen, nothing amazing. So I like Soto as a one-off. I like Rockies potentially as a stack here. Not too interested in the pitching due to the lack of upside. So next game here, we have the Cleveland Guardians against the Tigers. Tigers are favorited here at home, 7.5 over under. Possible rain in this one. So when we get closer to game time, it's something you might want to look into. But we have Pilkington against Skubal here. Pilkington at 4K, kind of an interesting pitching option here, especially in GPPs or cash, whatever. Strikeout upside seems to be there. And honestly, I don't know too much about this guy, but he comes with some shaky control. He did throw 80 pitches his last outing. The Tigers are 7th in batting average against left-handed pitching. However, 27th overall in home runs. So they can hit the lefties. They just don't have a ton of power here. So nice matchup here for Pilkington. The Tigers really have struggled all season long. And then on the other side, Skubal at 9.7K. Yes, that does feel pricey, but he does have strikeout upside here. And as we go through these games, I think he might have, one of the top 3 strikeout upsides on the slate. 28.4% strikeout rate here. Excellent to both sides of the plate, which is nice to see. Cleveland, however, 24th in strikeouts against left-handed pitching. So I don't really love that. 30th overall in general striking out. So they're last in the league in strikeouts. Not really a team I really want to attack. I didn't want to attack them that much last year. So it might take Skubal out of the picture just because of his price. On the Cleveland side, I'm not really too interested in bats. Skubal can give up, run a couple runs here and there. Ramirez 5.2K. I think the price is fairly reasonable. 300 ISO versus left-handed pitching. Owen Miller, I just have to kind of throw him in there. 3.7K has been good against left-handed pitching this season, but I don't love the price. Just worth noting there. And then on the other side with the Tigers, kind of a shot in the dark. I don't know what ownership is looking like right now. It is early, but if Pilkington is going to be high owned because of his price, the bats are somewhat in play for leverage and deep GPP matchups, not in cash, but yeah, Tigers bats could be interesting. I wouldn't go crazy, maybe a 2 or 3 man stack just to get a little bit of leverage off the 4K pitcher, but I like Pilkington here at that price as of right now. Skubal always has upside, but don't like the matchup there for him. Next game we have is the Phillies taking on the Braves. No favorite here, 8 over under, some potential rain here as well. Nola taking on Wright. I do like the pitching in this matchup. I'm just going to say it right now. Nola 9.2K. I think that's too cheap here. Yes, I know he's facing the Braves, but the Braves are first overall in strikeouts in the league. They are just striking out at an absurd clip. Nola 31% strikeout rate here. So those two things just correlate so well. Right on the other side, 9.9K feels kind of pricey, but has been pitching very well this season. 29.5% strikeout rate here, 8.4% walk rate. Has been good to both sides of the plate. Phillies are 6th in strikeouts here, so nice matchup for Wright as well. As far as the bats go, I think the lefties would be in play here against Wright. Harper, 6K, absolutely crushing this season. The dude is on fire. 327 ISO versus right-handed pitching. The other lefty I really like here is Schwarber. Get him at a bit of a discount here at 4.1K. His average is way down. He is selling out for power, but he does have 10 home runs on the season. 267 ISO versus right-handed pitching. Wright throws his curve a lot to lefties in general, not as much toward righties, but he throws it 30% of the time. It just so happens that Harper and Schwarber can hit curves pretty well here. So like those two guys as a one-off or like a 2-man stack. And then on the other side, I'm probably not going to get to Braves bats here in a 9-game slate against Aaron Nola. I am looking to attack this lineup in general because of the strikeout upside. But yes, it is the Braves. You can play whoever you want. Next, we have the Royals taking on the Twins. The Twins are favorited here, 8 over under. Danny Lynch going against Smeltzer here. Lynch 6.6K, 21% strikeout rate here, a hefty 10% base on balls rate. It gives up a lot of fly balls there, as you can see. Smeltzer on the other side, 7.6K, a little pricey, 5.5% strikeout rate here. I pretty sure that's real. 55.9% ground ball rate. So not a big ground ball guy. Or not a big, fly ball guy, low strikeout guy. So just not a ton of upside there. Royals 26 in strikeouts versus left-handed pitching. So I don't really even want to attack the Royals here. Royals bats do stink, and I don't really like attacking a ground ball pitcher. So that probably takes the Royals out of a 9-game slate for me. They are below average hitting team against lefties. Twins bullpen middle of the road, but they do give up a lot of home runs, second in the league in home runs giving up. And then on the other side with the Twins bats, I think they're very much in play. Like I said, Lynch has that high fly ball rate, high walk rate here. So I'm looking at guys like Buxton at 5.8K. And yes, I know he hasn't hit very well in his last 3 games, but he has a 500 ISO against left-handed pitching, which is just absurd. So he's very much in play. Maybe you get him at a lower ownership discount because he hasn't been hitting the ball very well the last couple of games. But another guy I really, really like here is Kyle Garlick, 2.2K, and who doesn't like a little garlic, right? Lefty masher, enough said. This guy can hit home runs off lefties. So like him here, maybe a bit of a pinch hit risk later on in the game, but that doesn't matter at 2.2K if he hits a bomb. Correa at 5.5K would be the third guy in like a 3-man stack for me. I don't love the price though. Miranda at 2K, flat min price if he is starting, I think is a okay option. And then just to add here, the Royals bullpen does stink. So like Twins bats here, not interested in any pitching. Next, we have the Brewers and the Cardinals. Cardinals are favorited at home, 7.5 over under. You have Laurel taking on Wainwright. Laurel, 10.1K. Seems absurd, but dude has been pitching out of his mind. 33% strikeout rate here. Really tough matchup here. And we'll dig in right now. The Cardinals are 29th overall in strikeouts versus left-handed pitching. So right at the bottom of the league there. Second in average and on-base percentage, and first in slugging against lefties here. So I don't know what Laurel's how many people are going to get to him at 10.1K. I definitely lean a little bit more on the bats here, but we'll get into that after we talk about Wainwright. Wainwright, 8.8K. I think the price is fine. He is at home, 19% strikeout rate here. I think the upside is limited. 9.5% walk rate this year, not great. About 50% ground ball rate. So that kind of takes the Brewers out for me. I think Wainwright is a decent above average pitcher. Maybe just not so much for DFS, but if he goes out there and gets you 20, that'd be really great. Brewers have power against right-handed pitching. I don't love the prices for the matchup in general, but I think both pitchers can be in play. They've shown that they can pitch. They're all having a phenomenal year, but bats wise, I really I don't mind the Cardinals here. Goldschmidt, 5.8K. 536 ISO against left-handed pitching, which is absurd. Arenado, 5.8K. 520 ISO against lefties. So those two guys have just been crushing left-handed pitching all year long. Pujols, 3.3K home run upside against lefties. As we know, 364 ISO there on the season. But overall, just some pricey bats and definitely contrarian as hell. But in play for me as one-offs, if Laurel has like a high ownership percentage, Brewers bullpen is dead last at giving up home runs on the season. That is worth noting. So that might prevent me a little bit from getting to a full stack here. But what's tough about stacking the Cardinals in general too is that like Pujols is only first base eligible, Goldschmidt only first base. So it kind of creates a little I don't know. It's just tough to stack, but I like some Cardinals here as one-offs. I'm probably going to stay off the pitching here if I'm doing single entry 3 max, but yeah, moving on. Next, we have the Red Sox versus the White Sox. 9 over under here. No clear favorite. Waka taking on Keuchel. Waka 8.1K. Don't love the price there. 18% strikeout rate here. 11.7% walk rate. Not great. Struggles against left-handed bats. They don't really have a ton on the other side, but Keuchel 5.2K. That is super cheap. However, that matchup stinks. He stinks. Not playable on a big slate. I think 9 games is big enough for me. Going against a great offense who seems to be turning the corner here. The one thing going Keuchel's way here is he has a 50.5% ground ball rate, which I don't really want to attack, but it is the Red Sox. Let's talk Red Sox bats here. Trevor Story, my number 1 bat here, 5.7K. He is Denzel Washington of the slate. He is the man on fire. 3.345 ISO against left-handed pitching. So I'm trying to ride some hot streaks this year. It's kind of worked out for me a little bit. So he's in play. Kike Hernandez, 3.5K. I think he's a little too cheap if he is kind of rounding that corner. He is a lefty masher, so I am interested in him. JD Martinez, I like him at his price at 4.9K. Really nice third man addition to the stack. Boston is always going to be in play for me. You saw it the other day when they were going against Dylan Cease. They can just hammer good pitchers. So Boston in play for me. White Sox on the other side, I don't really love it. Waka has been pitching okay. Not saying I would play Waka, but I don't know. White Sox have been struggling a little bit. Yes, you can play guys like Tim Anderson. The price is high, but Gavin Sheets would be the kind of cheap lefty bat with some upside against Waka at 3.2K. So I kind of like the Red Sox side here. Next, we have the Blue Jays and the Angels, 7.5 over under. The Angels are favorited here at home. Ryu taking on Ohtani. Ryu 6.9K. Nice. 14% strikeout rate here. Just a big ground ball pitcher struggling against right-handed bats. No big deal. Not interested there. Angels are hitting the ball very well. Ohtani on the other side, 8.7K. I can see him being somewhat kind of chalky here. We do know the upside is there. 34% strikeout rate here. Can fail once in a while, though. Tougher matchup, you would think. Blue Jays kind of struggling out the gate here. It's been 30 something games and we're kind of seeing a little bit of patterns kind of develop in general in Major League Baseball. Toronto 24th in strikeouts, 7th in strikeouts against right-handed pitching. So kind of leaning the Ohtani way here. I like both sides, don't get me wrong. So if I'm playing multiple lineups, I don't mind getting to Blue Jay stacks because yes, the potential is there. And I don't mind getting to Ohtani because the upside is there. Springer, my favorite Blue Jays bat at this moment, 5.4K is kind of pricey. 236 ISO against right-handed pitching. Vlad at 5.2K. I think the price is fair. Blue Jays, yeah, boomer bust here, like we talked about against Ohtani. 5th in home run against right-handed pitching this year, so that is something worth noting. However, 21st in OPS overall. They also strike out against righties quite a bit this year. So my lean is toward Ohtani here. I think both sides are in play if you want to just get crazy with it, right? And then on the Angels side, Trout 6.1K, just been mashing. I think he had a golden sombrero yesterday for big old strikeouts. Maybe that lowers his ownership. Who knows? I don't really like stacking against Ryu because he is such a ground ball pitcher, but he's not striking anyone out. So these balls are going in play. Trout, yeah, 6.1K. I don't mind that as a one-off. Rendon, 4.5K feels a little too cheap. 293 ISO against left-handed pitching. Ward 5K. He is still day to day. I think he was hit with a pitch or what have you, or ran into the wall. That's what it is. Ran into a wall. But he is available to pinch hit, so he might be able to start. 231 ISO against lefties here, so a nice stack addition. However, he is kind of pricey, so don't mind Angels as some like one-offs. Pardon me. And yeah, that'll be that game. Next, we have the Dodgers against the Diamondbacks, 9.5 over under here, massive over under total. Dodgers are favorited here. Mitch White against Castellanos. Mitch White, 5.5K, cheap, but the Diamondbacks have right-handed power, or power against right-handed pitching, excuse me. And then on the other side, Castellanos, 7.2K. Don't love the matchup for here, 17.4% strikeout rate, so not a ton of upside. Excuse me. Dodgers 22nd in strikeouts versus right-handed pitching, first in OPS. So yes, you can always stack the Dodgers here. Mookie Betts by far my favorite bat at 6.2K, 315 ISO against right-handed pitching. That does feel a little pricey, right? It's up there. You can't, stack them all. But if you're going with the Dodgers stack, I would include Betts here. After that, it's choose your own adventure. I think they're very much all in play, mix and match, have a good time. And then on the other side, Diamondbacks, I think they're hitting with some nice power this season against righties for sure. I'm not going to list all the ISOs, but they're all right there. Varsho at 5.2K, hitting very well, kind of like a cheat code at catcher. Smith, 3.5K. I like the price there. Peralta, 4K. Walker, 4.6. Thomas in there, not a ton of sample size there, but he is 3K. Maybe a nice little game stack here, to be honest. I would fade the pitching. Really like the over-under total in this one. So I'm going to be looking to this one for sure. And last but not least, we have the Rangers taking on your Oakland Athletics. Oakland. Perez taking on Montas here, 6.5 over under. Yes, that's a goofy low total here. But yeah, let's talk about it. Perez, 8.3K. At first I was like, man, that is quite the price on a big old bag of dust. But he does have a 20% strikeout rate here, and he is, still that good old ground ball pitcher he always has been. 56% ground ball rate. What the hell is happening here? He is pitching like phenomenal. And he is in play against a stinky A's team. I hate to say it, but that is baseball. So he is pitching very well. Maybe you want to continue to ride that hot streak. He is pitching in Oakland. Nice ballpark, 4 pitchers. So yeah, I hate to say it. I think he might be in play for me, and maybe he'll be low owned, which would be silly. On the other side, Montas at 9K. Texas not great against right-handed pitching in general, so it is a nice matchup for Montas. The Rangers are 27th in OPS overall against righties here. 27.4% strikeout rate here, so not bad. Not bad for his price either. Coming off a hand injury, though, that is something to note there. So I don't hate the idea of attacking him. He left the game early. I don't think he even made it through 2 innings last game. He did throw a bullpen session, does look good. So he should be fine, right? But I don't hate the idea of stacking against him in, some of these crazy deep GPPs. It is a good matchup, however, for Montas. And then on the other side, A's bats not really excited or exciting. However, they do come through from time to time if you are playing DFS and GPPs. Murphy, I like here a lot. Maybe one of my favorite catchers on the board at 3.4K, 325 ISO against lefties, just hits lefties very, very goddamn well. And Perez is an old lefty. Kevin Smith, if he's in the lineup, 2K, 257 ISO against left-handed pitching. Nothing more than a flyer there. I think the matchup is nice for Smith. However, the A's stink. But if Perez is going to get ownership, and I don't know if he has been or will, I'll have to look into that closer toward lock, but I don't mind taking shots against him as well in large field GPPs. Oakland's probably cheap as hell, and it's probably going to, unlock guys like from the Dodgers or the Red Sox or whoever you want to play. So kind of an interesting slate here. I think it's one of those, don't overthink this situation. It is 9 games. The ownership's going to be a little bit more spread out. So that'll do it. Do not forget to like this video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and maybe I'll do some more videos in the future. That's it. Have a good night or day, whatever it is. Peace out.